What's going on, everybody? Today I am joined with the legendary Hall of Fame announcer, commentator, the man himself, Mr. Al Bernstein. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So let's talk about this card. This Country Box October 7th is going to be the 36th installment of Country Box. And I believe you are even coming into town to commentate on this fight.
I am indeed. This will be my first country box. I love the show and I love the concept. A wonderful idea of marrying great country music with boxing action. And in my life, music and boxing have both played a role. So I feel comfortable coming, and I'm very anxious to come there and do the fights. And I think we have some fun fights on tap for the fans.
I believe so. So we've got two big fights, both of them titles. We've got William Langston versus Isaac Carbonell for the WBB, and we've also got an undefeated 20-0 with 20 knockout cruiserweight Craig Parker facing Leonardo Minor, who is also a very, very tough opponent for him.
Yeah, both those fights I think, are very intriguing and should produce interesting results. Carbonell and Langston, light heavyweights, who I think are very evenly matched. Carbonell, a left-hander, a Cuban fighter who is now in Nashville, and this is his fifth straight appearance, I think, on Country Box. So he's well known to this show and to the fans in Nashville. And William Langston, who got a late start in boxing, didn't turn pro till 25, but he is more experienced than Carbonell, and he's a very sound technician. So that should be a terrific fight. And then Craig Parker, the big knockout punching cruiserweight, a 34-year-old who grew up in Chicago, as I did, and lived in Las Vegas, as I do. And he is undefeated, and amazingly, no fight of his has gone past the second round. He's a big power puncher, but the man he's facing, Leonardo Minor, is much better than his record would indicate. And he has actually faced much tougher competition than Craig Parker, even though Parker is ranked 14th by the WBA. So in a way, for Isaac Carbonell and for Craig Parker, both these fights are kind of step-up fights for them.
Yeah. So one thing, I'm not sure if you are aware of this. I don't know if you follow the Team Combat League at all, but
Yes.
Isaac Carbonell and William Langston have fought both against each other in
Yes.
TCL and on the same team to win the championship this year.
Yes, they fought against each other and had a draw in the round that they fought against each other. And the way Team Combat League works is you have a team and you each fight a round or rounds, individual rounds. And so they fought, and appropriately for our purposes on this show, it was a draw, and it was a very spirited round. And as you said, they were also teammates for a while in that league. So they're very well acquainted with each other. And I saw your interview with Langston, in which he was respectful of Isaac Carbonell, but said unequivocally he thought he could win by unanimous decision or knockout. And I'm sure Carbonell just as confident. But both these men have respect for each other, though they will be competing fiercely to try and win this fight, because this fight has implications for both of them. And as I mentioned, Carbonell really, it's kind of a step-up fight for him.
So another interesting thing, I actually reached back out to them to possibly get a follow-up interview closer to the fight, and William was ready to go, but Isaac said no. He said, "Nope, I'm focused. I'm worrying about this fight. That's all I'm worried about."
Well, sometimes, boxers need to prioritize their own needs in terms of focus and what they feel is right to prepare. But yeah, that's kind of speaks to the intensity of the situation for him. He knows this is an important fight because he hasn't, he's faced a couple of pretty good fighters, but at 9-0, he hasn't really been tested against a veteran like Langston, who has been in with very, very good fighters, including Khalil Coe, who is fighting now for a one version or regional version of the light heavyweight title. And so Carbonell is well aware that this is not going to be an easy task against Langston.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough fight for both of them because I think they're both coming to step their game up for sure. Let's talk more about Craig Parker and Leonardo Minor. That's also going to be another tough one that I think is probably going to go the distance.
Well, if it did, it would be the first for Craig Parker, obviously, and we don't know how he's going to function after this second round. His nickname is Pressure, and that's appropriate because from the get-go, from the moment he steps in the ring, he is a pressure fighter, and that is something that opponents have to worry about. And he's got all his knockouts either in round one or round two, and as I said, he's never gone past that. But it's also something that Leonardo Minor feels will be a kind of a disadvantage for Craig Parker because in watching video of Parker, because of that pressure style, you can see defensively occasionally there are some lapses. Minor is a slick left-hander who has faced much better competition than Craig Parker. Parker's fought a couple of pretty good fighters, and as I mentioned, he's ranked 14th by the WBA, but Minor has certainly fought a better level of competition, and so that's what makes this kind of a step-up fight for him. So it's a really intriguing matchup, and if it is going to go long, as you suggest, we're going to learn a little something about Craig Parker and how he handles those rounds.
Well, I only say that because you can go off their height and reach as well. So Craig Parker is a shorter fighter. I think he's around 5'11", just under 6 feet. Fighter. And Leonardo Minor has got a significant height and reach advantage against him too. So, but Craig being a pressure fighter is how you got to get into Leonardo's reach too. So I think that's also going to play an interesting factor in this fight with these guys it's the NBA title that they're fighting for.
Yeah, there's no question, Park, and that's what, Minor is counting on. He said, look, he's going to have to close the distance and get inside, but I'm going to make him pay for doing that. And so far, no one's been able to really do that enough to Craig Parker to discourage him. And as I said, we've seen some people land punches against him and do some things offensively, but they haven't yet been able to discourage him enough so that his power hasn't as always won the day in those fights. Minor is hoping to be the exception to that. And if he can get him into the third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounds, he's really hoping that that's his chance. He's gone to longer distances a number of times, and he's hoping that's his chance to come away with the victory.
Now, there's one more fight I also think will be very interesting on this card. Kobe Khalil Williams, he's a newer guy, 8-1. He's fighting Jason Velez, who's a very seasoned fighter out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Velez is a fighter that is that has been in against tough competition, has fought a lot of different people. And this is an interesting fight for Williams because he'll be facing that kind of experienced veteran that you don't know until you face them. You are not aware of what you're in the ring with. You haven't yet faced that challenge. And I think this is yet another fight where a fighter is going in against somebody that will show them something different. And that's always what you're interested in boxing. You want to see fighters challenged in a way that where you're asking questions leading into the fight. The more questions you have going into the fight, the more intriguing the matchup really is.
Absolutely. So I do have a question for you, especially about our main event and our co-main event. I'm going to have to ask you for your predictions on what you think is going to happen.
I'm announcing. Haven't done it for 45 years. I don't do it because I don't like to skew it for people to think I have a prediction on it. That's been a rule I've had for 45 years, since 1980. I've never once predicted a winner in a fight I announce. Happy to go through all the ins and outs and how each man might win, but it's been a hard and fast rule for me. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but in this case, I'm going to have to demur from that.
We look forward to having you at Country Box October 7th. We got some great matchups. It's a great card. And Mr. Al Bernstein, the man, the legend himself, will be commentating on that fight.
I'm really looking forward to coming there. I love Nashville. It's one of my favorite cities. And I'm excited to work with all of you at Country Box. And I just think it's such a fun concept. And you guys have created something really fun. And I'm delighted to be able to come over there and collaborate with everybody.
Well, we are looking forward to it. Everyone be sure to tune in Tuesday, October 7th, countrybox247.com. You can watch it on the YouTube channel, also on Triller TV, and we look forward to seeing you, Al.
Good to see you. I'll see you in Nashville.
All right, thank you.
Good deal.